feel this person. Shopping at my go-to grocery store right next to my house is so awkward and anxiety-producing that I don't know if I can keep going there. Here's the sitch. A guy who stocks the shelves started being extra friendly when I was pregnant with my first child a few years ago. He would stop what he was doing and engage me in a conversation every time I was in his aisle. He'd ask about my pregnancy, and as time passed, he'd ask about my baby. And I'd ask how his kids were doing to be polite. One day, he told me he was separated from his wife, and my heart sunk. What once felt like friendly banter now felt kind of like he was hitting on me in front of my baby. The next time I went, he started initiating hugs with me. Maybe he was just sad and needed a friend, but I'm a customer and I'm not his friend. And this hug thing got out of control. I'm talking like every time he saw me, he'd stop what he was doing and put out his arms for a hug as I walked down the aisle. One time I avoided his aisle, and as I was checking out, he told the checker to leave so he could ring me up, which is quite literally not his job and never has been. After that, I stopped going there as much and started getting my groceries delivered. But I still have to go there sometimes because it's the grocery store next to my house and I have a toddler who needs endless amounts of cheese and yogurt. I went today and completely avoided the cheese and yogurt aisle because he was in it stocking the shelves. That was what she needed, and she couldn't go in there. My husband used to think it was kind of funny, but now when I come home missing half the groceries, he's starting to get a little annoyed because it's affecting our daily routine in life. How do I deal with this besides completely avoiding that store? Help. I'm also pregnant with my second, so I'll be on maternity leave soon, and I'm sure I'll be walking to the store with my new baby all the time. Ugh.
Oh, man, this is worst case scenario. Like to be driven to having to stay in your house because someone's making you uncomfortable in your regular life. Oh,
I have a question before we get to the answer portion of the program. I just have a question because this is it feels very like a problem that women have with men who don't understand that hugs in the grocery store aisles are inappropriate. But why didn't she, when the first arms came out the first time? Whoa.
Because it's ingrained in us to be polite. That is the only thing I can think of because that's exactly what I thought. Things progress in micro jumps, and I'm not saying this guy planned this out, but this is what happens to women. We're not going to be rude to your face just because we don't want to talk to you. Somebody in the supermarket is friendly, we smile and we're friendly back. I'm saying women, but this is men too. We are nice to each other without realizing what we might be opening the door to, because 99% of the time you're not opening the door to that. People know what the boundaries are and aren't creeping on you, and you're going to be fine. But this is a guy who's just in micro escalations, taking it to a point where she is now, she's writing to us because she feels trapped in her apartment. I feel like you got to move. But I know. But for other people, I feel like you got to, or I don't want to get this guy fired. Like, I feel bad for him too. He clearly does not know what the rules are and has way overstepped. I mean, I wonder if she's the only person that he does this to. If he's like fixated on her, or if he makes all these other women uncomfortable as well.
I bet he makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Could she go to, I don't want her reporting him. I just don't know. I feel like.
I think that you're so right. I think he's taken a little bit more at a time. And I'm going to give him a huge benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's evil. I don't think he is having creepy thoughts necessarily, but he's probably lonely. He doesn't have great social skills. He probably doesn't get a lot of interaction, especially with delightful women. And so he doesn't know that he's making her uncomfortable. Right. I'm going to guess.
Right. So does she go in and say, you're making me uncomfortable. You're a very nice person, but I really want to shop here without worrying about you're going to be touching me?
Yes, I think she should. And
but now it's crunchy.
If she's honest and nice with him, it might help him in other scenarios too. Sometimes we do people a disservice by not telling them the truth.
Yes, that is true. So the hard answer is you go in there, you shop as usual. When he goes to touch you, you say, I am a stranger to you. Please do not touch me. We have crossed lines. You have crossed lines. How does she spell this out?
I don't even think it has to be so, aggressive. I guess is the word. she could just say, "Oh, I'm more comfortable. I'm not comfortable with a hug today. Thank you."
Any day.
And then if he continues
all
to
the
try,
days.
then she can say, "Oh, I like when we just say hi."
Yeah.
Maybe like I know
sounds
patronizing.
I know,
guess,
but we're also
he kinda needs to
continuing
be.
the scourge of politeness.
We got a lot of texts in
Okay.
that say she should bring her husband to the grocery store with her, and maybe he should have a conversation with him.
Yeah, keep your hands off my wife, dude.
What's wrong with going to the manager and saying, I don't want to make a big stink about this?
Because if he has initiated the hugs and you've accepted them every time, then in his brain, he's getting positive reinforcement on his actions.
Right.
You have not done anything that he is able to perceive because he probably is not picking up on your micro expressions that you're uncomfortable. You have not done anything that he has perceived as no.
So no needs to start.
The reason I asked that is because, number one, I've watched this happen to you. I've watched, and I'm talking to Sarah now, I've watched men in business lean in and kiss you or go for the hug. And I sit there and I think, that person didn't try to hug me. It's a man-woman thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know, like, for example, in the grocery store, that guy reaches out. I hold his chest away from me, and we are not huggers. We're not. Right here, this ends here. I don't hug you. Now, there are people I do hug. I hug our listeners all the time. I hug our coworkers when they want to.
Yep.
But I'm not a person who goes in for that stuff. I'm often, it's a scenario that I'm either comfortable with or, why are you hugging me, dude?
Right.
Like, back off.
This is interesting. 415 Safeway had to back up its policy of all employees having to smile at customers because too many women were getting hit on by male customers.
By male workers.
They were being told to be friendly.
They were being told,
I
they were being told to be friendly. And then after a while, the female employees came back and said, listen, if we're a little bit friendly, guys will take it a mile.
It opens the door, right.
John always says that. He's like, you are too friendly. You cannot touch someone. If you touch someone, that dude thinks you want to do him. I'm like, you're crazy. That's stupid. And he's like, just watch what happens. You put your hand on. Oh my God, that's so funny. Put your hand on a shoulder. Put your hand on an arm. Now that dude's like, oh, she wants me. She wants me. That's it.
Well,
I'm gonna try and get her.
That is one of those things that's out there. Like, you could probably do a search right now on signals that means a girl likes you, and she touches you a lot when she talks to you is probably on the list.
Yes.
So I don't doubt that some dude who, sees that article and thinks, oh,
she's so friendly. She's flirting with me.
She's touching my arm.
Yeah.
Oh, now she touched my bicep. She's up my arm a little bit. Oh, now my shoulder. Hey. Like, I can see how
that is awfully touchy.
I am just saying, I can see how a person who's read an article like that, who might not be that savvy and is trying to learn, sees that and thinks, oh, Sarah keeps touching me. She must like me. Even though John's on the other side of her.
Going, stop touching that guy. What's the matter with you?
See, that's why I'm like, it's really hard for a single guy to try to meet somebody out in the wild.
To know what to do, right?
Because I'm not about to, like, somebody smiles at me. I don't want to be the creepy guy that's like, oh, you smiled at me. You must like me. A couple of suggestions and things from our listeners. 707, work at a grocery store. Totally against the rules for this kind of behavior. Fireable offense. Like, you're not supposed to hug.
Okay, so
customers.
here's now we got this guy who's a little off the rails anyway. In my opinion, this all just feels like an escalation that is like abnormal. This is not how interactions with employees at stores should go.
Married, like, she's married, right?
She's
got
married.
a ring.
He was married
kids.
as well.
Right.
One day he told me he was separated from his wife. Yeah, rings, kids, more kids. Like, this is not going normally. I'm afraid he gets fired. She lives right next door. He somehow knows that. Maybe he's followed her before.
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
all
like
that.
this.
It's getting too out of hand, but I do think that it's one of those situations where she is giving him more than enough signals to not do this. So she has a right to defend her space, right?
Yes.
So it's really a matter of how she's going to handle it. Bringing the husband in, he doesn't have to say anything. He can just be there, and hopefully that will be the thing that changes the way this guy reacts to her. I actually think that's not a bad effort
That's
for
not
the
bad.
first try.
Yes.
Somebody was saying that you bring your husband in, and if he doesn't hug you when the husband's there, then his intentions are not great. And, then I think he would feel comfortable going to the manager and saying, yeah, you can ask this guy to stop doing this.
One of the easiest solutions, and I hate to say this because you don't want to have to do it, but I go to 5 different grocery stores all the time. Like I don't know where she lives, but I bet there's another one not far off.
She shouldn't have to do that.
She shouldn't have to.
You're right. But
that's not the answer.
This situation, I get it, but is she going to be willing, is the husband even going to be willing to go in and go down the aisle with this guy? And then what if he's not there that day? Oh, we got to do this another mission another day.
Well, he should be able to do whatever it takes to find a comfortable situation for his wife.
I understand what
if
you're
you
saying.
write us about your rotten husband, we'll also, be on your side. Yeah, this is going back to what you said about if he doesn't hug you when the husband's there, it's telling. I even think it's telling if he does hug you when the husband. Like, I'm convinced that this guy he's going to just be like, I'm going to hug her. That's what I do. It doesn't matter. And I know she likes me, so I'm going to offer her the friendly hug that we always do.
There are just so many people who don't have good social skills, and I feel so much sympathy for them because I have family members who are on the spectrum and just literally can't read the expression on your face.
Room, right?
They don't know what we know so obviously. And so I think I would first at least try giving a polite little no nudge verbally.
Okay.
And more directly.
So that's the first start. He comes in for the hug and you say, I'm not going to hug you. I don't want to. No, thank you. No, thanks. No hugs. No more hugs.
Could you even say, listen, I may have made a mistake and led you on, but I want to stop this here. You work at my grocery store and I'm a shopper at the grocery store. We don't hug. Does that sound beyond rude, or is that fair?
It's a little bit. I think that is fair. That would be really hard for me to say. That would be very hard for me to say. I feel like, and it also makes it seem like I am participating in this. I feel like just a simple no. You got to start there. It's really hard, and then no is a complete sentence. Not no. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that this doesn't hurt your feelings. No, just no. Thanks.
No, I'm okay.
No hug. No hug. You've got to stop it there and then go on with your thing. I know I'm so worried about everyone's feelings in all of this. Why do I care?
Well, I think that it's one of those mistakes a lot of us make. You don't nip it right there.
Right.
And then you find yourself like with this
a growing problem.
In a situation where you go.
Out of politeness, you don't nip it.
That's why I asked that to you, though, because I would have absolutely been like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
Back up.
But you probably would have been like, no, long before that happened.
First hug.
No. I mean, like they had graduated to the hugs, but like it starts with the little questions and the little ha-ha-has, and they're chatting about kids, and they're, he's working that end of it, and she's being polite and not just cutting off the conversation. Like that's what needs to happen. It feels rude, but he's being rude. He's being the one who's being rude.
Well,
no more questions.
From the standpoint of a guy who's in some grocery, like I've worked grocery. I was a kid, but it's mind-numbingly boring. Like so boring. I mean, it sounds like he's a
stalker or something.
And you face the shelves, so you turn all the the logos
Stocks the
out.
Shelves,
and you do all that stuff. It's beyond boring. Often people who love it are people who are kind of on the antisocial side and like prefer to, I don't have to deal with customers. I'm just going to get this thing.
I'm facing all those things,
walk away from this shelf and it's going to look perfect. And I didn't have to talk to anybody. Like some people go for that job for that reason. This guy's probably desperate for attention, right?
Probably. And Jess is not picking up what she's putting down.
And one more from grocery store folks have been chiming in. I worked at this grocery store from the 925 for 17 years in management. We had a guy who we found out was making female customers uncomfortable with hugs. She probably isn't alone and should tell somebody. That's my thing. Is I have a feeling this is not isolated with this dude. And like if you went to a manager and said, your employee's making me uncomfortable with these hugs. Can you talk to them?
Yeah.
Like, what harm is that? I mean, you're not going to get the guy fired probably, but
most grocery stores are union, so he probably has protections in place, at least for the first
But he
warning.
could be told, you cannot hug any of our customers.
Right.
Yeah, and that's exactly...
You should not be engaging them in conversation. If they ask you a question about produce or the thing you're stocking, answer. Other than that, nah.
So you go to the front of the store, find the manager, and then you say, listen, I want to shop here.
Yeah.
And there's one of your employees is constantly making me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because we also got some text in. It's like, if you do say something to him, you don't know how he's going to respond either. Like, he could
I'm worried about
could be a
that
bit of a
guy.
psycho and like have a really bad and they'll be even more uncomfortable in the grocery store. I mean, that's what bosses are for there.
I'm really worried. Please let us know what you decide and let us know how it goes. We like feedback. I have one more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to
Yeah.
play? You want to do the
We have
break
time.
first?
No.
We'll take the break and then.
Oh, you want to take the break?
Let's
Take the break.
Let's do it.
Wake up! Thank you. With Sarah and Vinny.
Ding, 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 ding.